Is the Hershey's company still a sweet deal for dividend growth investors? With rising cocoa prices putting pressure on profits, a recent downgrade from some analysts, and speculation about a possible merger with Mondelez, now may be the perfect time to evaluate whether this iconic stock belongs in our portfolios. In this video, we'll break down Hershey's latest numbers and their dividend strength. And stick around to the end where I'll share my personal take on whether or not I'm adding Hershey to my portfolio. So why am I looking at Hershey? Well, let's start with why Hershey is on my radar right now and check out some recent news articles. Piper Sandler recently downgraded Hershey's stock to underweight, lowering its price target to $120 per share, basically citing the impact of prolonged higher cocoa prices. On the flip side, some analysts believe Hershey's stock could gain 9% in the next year as cocoa prices stabilize and the company launches new products like Reese's Caramel Cups and Kit Kat Pink Lemonade Wafers. As an aside, I'm doing a 24-hour fast right now, so I'm not sure why I chose today to do a video on Hershey's and Reese's Caramel Cups. 10 out of 10 would totally try. Okay, let me not be derailed by thoughts of yummy, delicious treats. Now, popping over to Seeking Alpha, let's take a peek at Hershey. We are currently trading at $149.25 a share, which is really close to the 52-week low of $147.60. The other thing to note in the last year is that Hershey's share price is down 22.88%. If we take a look at Hershey's dividend history, the company has actually raised its dividend 5 times in the last 5 years. And here you can see they've got 15 years of dividend growth and 35 years of dividend payments. Given the share price of $149, the dividend yield right now is 3.67%, which is above Hershey's 4-year average dividend yield of 2.07%. The payout ratio, which basically tells us whether or not the dividend is sustainable, is currently at 60.94%. The last dividend of $1.37 per share was paid out on December 16th of 2024. We can anticipate an ex-dividend date coming up this month in February with a payout date in March, and I'm hoping, based on recent times, that we'll actually see an increase in that dividend, but time will tell. With a 5-year compound annual growth rate of that dividend of 12.88%, combined with that current dividend yield of 3.67%, Hershey gives us a Chowder score of 16.55. And if you're not familiar with the Chowder score, I'll link to a video about it where I discussed both the dividend triangle and the Chowder score. Now, while these numbers look pretty good overall, right, we need to check whether Hershey's financials and valuation justify an investment at today's prices. Looking at the current price to earnings, Hershey is at 17.16. And if we look at the last 10 years, we can see that that's actually the lowest this PE has been for Hershey. On the flip side, Hershey's dividend yield is the highest that we've seen in 10 years at 3.67% today. Now let's look at Hershey's price to free cash flow, and we can see we're currently at a 12.86. Now remember, if we have a lower price to free cash flow, this also might suggest that Hershey is undervalued right now. And if we change the chart and look at the last 10 years, I believe that there was only one other moment in time where we were below that 12.86, and yes, indeed, it was back in July of 2018. So is Hershey a buy right now? Here's my take. Pros for Hershey: strong brand, consistent and strong dividend growth, a reasonable payout ratio, and the lowest PE in the last 10 years. The cons of Hershey: the price volatility of cocoa. That could factor in. And it's a mixed bag out there in terms of the fair value to pay for shares of Hershey. Using Peter Lynch's fair value formula, the fair price would be $90.46. Overall, if you're a long-term dividend investor, buying Hershey on dips could be a smart move. However, if cocoa prices remain high, we may see more pressure on earnings. So what do you guys think? Will you be adding Hershey to your portfolio? As for me, I currently own 13.84 shares of Hershey in my M1 account. And honestly, I've been adding to this position. And if you look at my average share price of $183.09, you can see why I'm trying to dollar down on this position and increase my yield on cost. The other place that I own Hershey is in the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. And if we scroll down and view all these holdings, you guys will see that Hershey actually is right here and makes up 0.85% of the total holdings in SCHD. And if you're not familiar with SCHD, I'll link to a video so you can learn a little bit more. So lay it on me. Do you guys own shares of Hershey? Or maybe it's just stocked away currently in SCHD that is coming due for a reconstitution next month, so we'll see if they make the cut. Or are you just enjoying a yummy, delicious Hershey bar with almonds from time to time, like me? So let me know in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, I would love it if you would like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can stay with me and do some more deep dives on dividend growth stocks. And I'll leave some links in the description if you want to pop through some of the websites that we were looking at today. Okay, be well, my friends. I'll see you in the next one.